Hi friends, we are here ready for, I'm making hot dogs. It's nothing fancy. I'm just here to hang out and have fun with you all on a Tuesday night. My screen looks a little dark. Let me go turn that other light on. We'll see if all that helps. Have you all had a great day? I hope you've had a good day. And I'll just let some folks pop on here while I continue to do what I'm doing. I got my water. And tonight we're going to make hot dogs. These are the Quick Start Franks. Y'all ever had a red hot dog? How many of y'all had a red hot dog? We used to have this in South Carolina all the time. I feel like I'm in the country when I have me a little red hot dog. And they be so good. They be so good. They be so good. So if you haven't had one, you can only find them in Tennessee up here at the Food City. But you can also get them down in South Carolina at the IGA too. Probably the Piggly Wiggly or the Hills if you're in Loris. So I'm going to put it on the keto bread tonight. And I was on the phone. I didn't have time to even start thinking about whipping up homemade chili. So we're going to go with the can tonight. But that's okay. It's all going to be good. I got some new, I think I needed mustard and ketchup. So we got that. And I'm going to cut up a little onion. And then that's going to be it. I know. I was in Chicago and everybody's saying, you got to have a Chicago hot dog. You got to have a Chicago hot dog. And I know. I think it's just mustard in Chicago. So if you're in Chicago, you'll have to let me know what it is. But everybody does something different, and that is A-okay. That's what makes the world go around, right? We all can do something different and like different things. I don't think that's going to get that out of that can. Let me get a different spoon here. Sometimes the peanut butter don't want to come off the spoons. There's another one. We'll have to scrub that for a minute. That one looks clean. No, that's still not clean right there. What's going on with it, y'all? What's going on with it? So all I'm going to do is just put it in this little pan. And what's left over is going to be left for my lunch tomorrow. I hate it for whoever's around. Sometimes chili don't smell the best cooked over. And then when you smell it, everybody's going to be wanting a hot dog tomorrow. I'm just going to warm it up. So that's my chili. Nothing fancy. I've made hot dog chili for y'all before. I think when I was just doing videos, not doing the live. But it sure was a pretty day. I don't know where you are. Some of y'all are here in East Tennessee, and I was in Pigeon Forge earlier, and I stopped by the... There we go. Stopped by the Greenway there in Pigeon Forge. And if you've never been there when you've been on a visit, let me just tell y'all, that is a good little place to just stop. Put it on that back eye. Felt like I slammed it down there, didn't I? That's a good little place to stop and hang out. I'm just gonna put it on this right here so I don't mess something else up. Try to keep it clean, my friends. We're gonna keep it clean. Let me close that door before I trip over it. But anyway, the Greenway in Pigeon Forge, it starts over by the event center. It goes all the way through Pigeon Forge back over into the community center area. Nice little walk. You see the birds, you can see the fish, you can hear the stream, you see the mountains off in the distance. And on a day like today, that was the best little place to go hang out. I tell you, couldn't ask for a better afternoon to spend there with that. Now, some of you will ask, and you'll say, I didn't know you could put that on a flat top. But I found this on Amazon, and it's metal. And sometimes these little creases get to be a little hard to clean. But I flip it on this side when I'm making my hot dogs inside, or maybe bratwurst or something like that. On the other side, we can make pancakes on. It got a little warped over the cooking, so that's the only thing that's happened. But it gets hot, and we get to use it. And I'm just going to use this one end down here. I'm going to cook this whole pack of hot dogs. I'm going to cook 4 for the 4 buns I got. And then the others, well, that's going to be lunch tomorrow. So, see if I can find, this is a package of 2. See if I can read what's in these. But some of y'all are going to say, I ain't never seen no red hot dog before. So this is made with chicken, pork, and beef. Natural smoke flavoring. Doesn't seem any less. I guess it's just maybe some kind of one of them red food dyes or something. Red dye number 40. I don't know. But this is it. Hot dogs tonight. And then hopefully we can get started in watching our show. I don't know if any of y'all been watching the series or not. There's a series called Vikings that we've gotten into. Got a little hard, and I know it's a little bad at times, but you know, I don't know. I watch it. It gets a little gruesome with that killing and stuff that's going on in there. I like hot dogs when they get just a little bit of char on them. Chick-fil-A for dinner, Sugar Bear. Woo, I'm making a mess now. All that juice is coming out. Let me just put these on the thing over here. All right, pour that out. There's a lot of pink dye that was in there. That was a clean thing there. Got them good dogs. That's what you call it, them good dogs. That's what somebody else said. So, we washed that off. It's back to work tomorrow for me. Bright Leaf hot dogs. Is that a brand? I don't know that brand. Flip that over. Better get me a little something to put this onion in. Oh, if I do that, I'll have to wash it. Let me just put it in there. Put it in the fine china. Less to clean up, my friends. Less to clean up. All right, there was this place. Some of y'all, my Loris followers, y'all know about a place called Fowler's Grill. Seems like they had the best hot dog I've ever had. The other week I went to Frank Allen's in Sevierville. That was one of my most popular posts. Everybody's like, I love Frank Allen's. I love Frank Allen's. And then somebody said, you got to get the bottled water. And I think, the bottled water? What in the world? Now, I like to cut my onion up a little fine for my hot dogs. So, there's that little piece. There's not going to be much to do. Y'all better have a lot to talk about or to ask at least. Or we'll be standing here looking at each other for the next 45 minutes or so. All right, let me flip these over. They're getting a little bit. They're getting a little bit. Anyway, I was over there at Frank Allen's. Everybody said, "Oh, that's Dolly's favorite hot dog." I know the last time some of the people caught her over at the Burger King across from Dollywood, grabbing her food. Might not have had time to go to Frank Allen's that night. Oh, I bet you, I know what, they were already closed. They close early. That's okay. By that time, that would have been closed. All right, so there we go. There's my onions. We're about set, aren't we? I hear that boiler. Let me go ahead. Turn that down. So we're not going to have a lot to do tonight. I get these keto buns. They're a little chewy to me. How do y'all feel about them? How do y'all feel about these? These ain't gonna curl up. So it's 18 carbohydrates with 16 dietary fiber. You're supposed to subtract the dietary fiber. That would give you a total of 1 net carb. Low fat, reduced calorie. Again, they're a little chewy to me. But... Oh, there's my breakfast for tomorrow. I left my bacon up there. I'm just going to put that on for 15 seconds. You've been to the restaurants where those buns are steamed, and it'd be so good. It'd be so good. We be talking about them hot dogs. Seems like I've wanted one ever since we got back from Chicago. Leave that there just so I will hit it one more time for 10 seconds before we take it out to eat. Let me go look for a pack of chips. But everybody says that Frank Allen's has the best hot dogs. I said, well, next time I can figure it out, I'm going to bring Dolly a Fowler's hot dog and let her try that out. See if somebody's going to drive up from Loris and bring us one. They cold. They good cold, too, if you've ever had one. You don't usually use the buns. Do you use the light bread? Hello, Maya. Hope you're doing well. I just saw that. Hello, Maya. I made this bacon this morning, and what's left is going to be breakfast tomorrow. You want a Severe Bowl shirt? Severe Bowl? Well, I got this one at the barbecue festival, and then that turquoise one I was wearing. I stopped by the chamber the other day, and they said, "You can tell everybody we sold out. We don't have any more." Trying to get them. I said, I'm going to have to start charging commission. If I wear something, y'all sell out of it. And they were trying to get that color back again. I should have checked and seen if I had a mustard open in there. There is one. It'll be all right. You got to clean that drawer out there. Y'all have that? Too many things in the side drawer. Let's see. So what was my day like? I went and saw my friend out in Sevierville. They've opened a new moonshine place. I said, "Do we need another distillery?" And they said, "Well, it's kind of one of our dreams." So I hope that they do well with their journey and their adventure. Those hot dogs are about done. And so I said, "What makes yours different?" This is called Mountain Cut Distillery is what it's called. And I said, "Well, what makes yours different?" And they said, "Well, we're not using dyes and all the syrups and all the other different stuff, and our creams are like milk." And they were. They poured some out, and it was like a glass of milk was coming out of the jar. So they're trying a different approach to have it all natural, and there's only 500 jars made at the time. So y'all go right on in. Y'all hit me some likes. Double tap that screen for me. Let everybody know you're here. Hit share for me. That would be so great if everyone hit share. You just hit the share button and tell everybody, come on in and join me. We're only going to be here for a little while longer. Those are done. I'll show y'all how I like my hot dog. Let me go back and find a package of chips. So if I didn't have Buzz, we'd use this bread. Y'all know I love this bread. This is that 5-grain Italian bread that you pick up from Publix. I can't find it anywhere else, but it's good. You've never had a grilled cheese sandwich like quite right if you haven't had it like that. That's all I can tell you. If you've not had one of those, we're going to find a package of chips. How about the spicy nacho? Is that good enough for y'all tonight? Y'all gonna be like, Kyle's crazy. He's not telling us anything. We're not doing anything fancy other than cooking it on this thing on the grill in the inside pot. It's 10 seconds. And there we go. So that's how I like mine, with just a little bit of char. What y'all think? Is that good enough? No. I put that on for 10 minutes. How'd y'all let me do that? That Buns we'll be eating on the other ones tonight, if that were to happen. I'm gonna tell you, one time we were camping, and we didn't have this. All we had was mayonnaise, because we had taken mayonnaise for sandwiches. And I put that mayonnaise on there, and I think I like this better than anything else. You like your hot dogs absolutely burnt to a crisp. Well, if it did that on the grill, it wouldn't bother me. Let's just say that. That almost cooked to the bag. There we go. At a time, we're getting it out of the bag, y'all. Sometimes it goes that way. Yeah, I almost let that mess up on us. See? All right. I guess I could put a piece of bacon on it. I'll sit and hang out with y'all tonight. How about that? Y'all like a lot of onion or a little bit of onion? So I saw David and Katie at the Moonshine Place, and then I rode through Pigeon Forge. They're already here. The Rod Runners are already here. You know what has happened in the past is that they've come for Shades of the Past for Labor Day weekend. Because Splash Country would close for the weekend on Labor Day. And then they would be here for the weekend. And so then this group comes in for the real show. So that was the pre-show, and then you get the real show. I'll bring this over just so y'all can see. Got my canned chili. Don't tell my mama I didn't show y'all how to make real chili. And that looks like that's gonna be good. Smells good. So we're getting ready for the car show. It's a car show weekend. I always tell people, they're like, oh, I don't know about that. If you're not coming for the car show, go on to Gatlinburg. Come and visit us. I'd love for you to come visit us. But if you're not coming for the car show, you might want to come a different weekend. There we go. Dinner. Now, how many of y'all would have put the mustard and ketchup on a different way? Eating like a 6-year-old? Well, that's okay. 6-year-olds got to eat too. That's at least what I like to say. Let me take my picture of it. There we are. So, y'all who wants to dive in? Y'all know that chili's gonna have to cool down a little bit for me. I am one that I like my food to cool down just a little bit. So, in that case, I'll have these hot dogs. There we are. Y'all hit share and double tap on that screen one more time. Where did I get that shirt? I get asked about it all the time. This was at the Sevierville Bloomin' Barbecue and Bluegrass Festival. Hello, Sevierville. Everybody asks all the time where it came from. If you'll call the Sevierville Chamber of Commerce, if they don't have one, they will try to get you one. How about that? Let me leave it that way. Because they sold out not too long after I got this one. Couldn't remember my password. No, I don't want to do that right now. I want to find the camera. I bought this new iPad so that I could have a backup to do this stuff, and I forget to even use it. It's not very good with the brightening up that picture, I can tell you that. Them hot dogs are big. I'm like, wow. I'll put on Facebook later, do you like your hot dog burnt or slightly toasted? Oh, that's how it's going to be. So tomorrow I'm back at 8 a.m. I go back to work. So I'm saving 2 out for Mr. Zach. And so we continue with our low carb. Tomorrow, this is lunch now. This is what I'm going to do. Put these in here like this. I'll put the mustard and ketchup on at a later time. And I'll just leave that little bit of onion in case he wants some. Put the onions, try to split them out a little bit. And then the rest of that over there, top of it. That's how we're going to do that. So that situation is taken care of. We don't even have to worry about lunch tomorrow. Hopefully they like the smell of chili and onions. And I'll use the condiments we have in the drawer for everything else. And then that'll be left over. That'll be his leftovers. Well, not leftover for him, but still there. If he wants it when he gets here. So that'll be lunch, and I'll worry about the mustard and ketchup later. So there's lunch tomorrow. And then I've got my pot of grits and my bacon, and that's what we're going to have for breakfast in the morning. So take care of all the stuff. And then we can sit back and relax, and then we can all sit back and hang out. This might be one of the first times I'm able to sit and hang out with you all while I'm doing this. Because normally it takes us the whole time to get ready. Yes, it takes us the whole time sometimes. But we're good. We're going to sit back and hang out. Gatlinburg Hussy! Hello, how are you doing? By the way, we got an update from the National Park today. That they're officially working on the road now. So Highway 441, which is the road, some of you are not familiar with all of it, but if you take that road from Cherokee to Gatlinburg or Gatlinburg to Cherokee, and you go over the mountain and you see all the beautiful views, that road is closed currently and will remain closed, we think, until the end of this month. Hopefully during October, peak October month, it'll be able to open up and let everybody go see all the beautiful, magnificent views of the mountains and all of that. So I didn't save any chili, but last time he didn't want chili. So there we go. You're having a hot dog too, Tina. Great minds think alike. There we go. So that road should be open at the end of the month. Any other announcements that I have? Remember, the Gatlinburg Trail also has a partial closure for those of you who are maybe wanting to do a hike. That's one of those that's so easy to do because you don't have to be strenuous at all. And you can take your dogs on it. So a lot of people do that for that. So there's just a partial closure on the Gatlinburg Trail. So there we go. And if you don't mind, I'm going to say a blessing over our food, and then I'll sit and talk and chat with you for a little while I eat. Okay? Then we'll get ready for Andy at 8. Okay? Dear Lord, thank you for this food. Please bless it for the nourishment of my body. Please be with everybody out there in internet land. And if they have any problems or any needs, please heal and comfort them, and also their loved ones that may be dealing with something as well. So we pray for a blessed night and a blessed and safety tomorrow during our travels. Amen. All right, y'all ready to eat? Y'all ready to eat? Give us more of them double taps on the screen. Here we go. Kyle's 30-minute hot dogs. Oh, that was spicy. He might not get that hot dog. He might not get that hot dog. It's all right, he can have extra chips. And I ain't trying to be religious, so don't go there with that. I guess you'll call it a chili dog. Sometimes I like to put cheese on it. In my younger years, there was a place called Broadway at the Beach. It's still there. And there were these two guys that would set up with they had hot dogs and pulled pork sandwiches and all this stuff. And they'd put jalapenos and all kinds of stuff on them hot dogs. And they'd be so good. I'm like, where is that stand? Where are the guys out here tonight? Racing down that road again. They love racing down that road. One day, somebody's going to get hit. And I'm going to say, I told y'all so. Only eat eggs. The buns are steamed in the microwave. That's the steaming of the buns. There's a little bit left. So there's my chips. It's a wonder I'm not on fire today. Those of you that were around earlier, I had jalapeno panini cheese grits. Y'all want something good? That was tasty. Y'all ever watch that movie Lonesome Dove? And that old Woodrow, they're out looking for a cook. I think they were in San Antonio. And he goes, dang, that's tasty. What is it? And the guy said, grasshopper. He spit that thing out real fast. There we go. That's what the chips are for. To sop up that chili that falls out. So last week, I told y'all when I got to work on Wednesday that I'd be doing the 9 and the 3:30 and the 4:30 and the noon and the 10:30. And then when I got there, they realized that they double scheduled 3 people for the same stuff. So I got sent out. So we'll see. I don't do the schedule. I just show up. I try to show up where I'm told. I'll be like, am I in the right place today? Why are there so many meteorologists sitting here? Dill pickles with the hot dog. Have I ever done that? I've done the relish. So I guess that would be about the same, right? I stop at the Weigels in Sevierville quite a bit and get me a hot dog. And I'll do the same thing that I did here with this, but I put the relish and the jalapenos and all of that on it. Hello, Georgia. We gonna do the roll call tonight. New Titan Stadium. I've not been there. Y'all have to have that discussion about the stadium because I don't know enough about it. I don't know enough about the new stadium to talk about it. I will say, it seems like the Knoxville Smokies' new stadium has done very well for them. Kind of a odd area of town. What is that man doing out there? There's just a little slither of the curtain open. And I'm like, what is he doing out there? I think he's cutting grass. Not married. I keep hoping that they'll get something like a Savannah Bananas. You know that deadline's coming up for that company that they selected to give them the plan for what they want to do out in Kodak. So that's coming up. I'm gonna wash that off. That way it's not terrible on my towel. I got to fold laundry. Y'all know the maid didn't show up today, so I had to go figure it out. How many of y'all looked around this morning and said, the maid didn't come, I gotta do my laundry. We have a lady come clean for us about every 2 to 3 months. I'm gonna save some money and let her do a deep clean next month, maybe. I was looking at flights. The last time I made that trip down 40, one lane, through the gorge, it was a disaster. So I think I'm gonna fly home for Thanksgiving. Y'all have to let me know if y'all have any suggestions. I looked the other day and it was $300. Today it was $550. Ugh. Well, and before you say 300 is a lot, I'm traveling by myself, right? And it normally takes me 200 in gas. So if I was traveling with 2, it wouldn't be justified to fly. But when you're talking about getting down to around $200, like I paid for the flight I need to take in October, now we're talking about same thing. That's gas money. So we're not trading out too much. With that, where is home? I'm in the Great Smoky Mountains of East Tennessee. If it doesn't show up on your map, just look for Knoxville. Home of the Tennessee Volunteers. The Titans are in Nashville. Well, Wares Valley. Okay, so you're not far away. And oh, you were asking where home is. My home. I don't even know what you're talking about, Davey boy, with who or Zeppelin. I don't even know what you're talking about. I see what you're talking about now. You're asking where's home. Home is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, for those of you who are unaware of that. A little town called Loris, South Carolina is where I'm from. And so now that I understand, I can give you a better answer. Of course, if you know, if you're in Wares Valley, you know where Knoxville is. I didn't know if you were from out of state. And a lot of times, you know, if folks get, I've had folks from different countries, and a lot of Ireland seems to find me for some reason. And they're trying to figure out Tennessee. They just know Tennessee, the state in the United States, but they don't know any more details about it. So you have to narrow it down for them. You're at Lifestar in Sevierville. You're working. Let's see. Calabash, North Carolina. I am on the news for whoever just asked that. Yes, I'm on the news, the weatherman, and I'll be there at 8 a.m. tomorrow getting ready for the 9. Well, Calabash, my mom is up in Ocean Isle Beach right now. The whole family's up there. I didn't get to make this trip, but whole family's up in Ocean Isle. They keep sending me videos of the beach. Well, tell Ellie that I appreciate that. Hopefully, I will get to meet her in person one day. Nicole, thanks for saying I love watching you in the morning. I appreciate that. How far from Conway? That, I could throw a rock and hit Conway. Technically, if you get to narrowing it down too much, Loris is north. Conway's kind of right in the middle of the county. And so Loris is north. And technically, beyond that, halfway between Loris and Conway, you would get to where I'm at technically from, which is Gurley. East Texas. That's okay. I haven't had many flies outside. Now, the garbage can, that's terrible. That's terrible. I keep saying we're going to move it away from the back door. It's by the back door. I keep saying we're going to move it away because I don't want them coming in. But the flies have been terrible this year. There have been times that we've tried to sit outside and it just wasn't happening. Tonight would be a nice night to go outside. Frank in East Texas, you're going to have to come see us in East Tennessee. Wake up with us tomorrow morning on WVLT. The biting flies are on the beach. I'll have to tell Mom and Dad that. It's my mom, my 2 cousins. I don't know about both their husbands, but I know at least one of the husbands is there. And did I say my dad and my aunt? Got it all confused. Anyway, they said there's plenty of room for me to come down there. And I said, well, y'all got to tell me a year in advance. And they said, come on now. And I said, yeah, you got to tell me about a year in advance if you want me to come. Not to come and visit, but if you're planning a trip like that, I got things to do. I have to be here. They don't like, it would be nice if I did the weather down there at Ocean Isle, Gina, wouldn't it? They might not like it too much here in Knoxville. It'll be like Kyle's Road Trips. We'll start a club. Kyle Travels. And wherever Kyle travels to, that's where he does the weather from. I'll get me one of those moving green screens on wheels. We'll roll it to wherever with the lights and all. That would be fun. Broncos spray fly. Okay. I don't know about that one. I thought my cousin might pop on here. I said, y'all got to tune in at 7 o'clock now and watch me. We're having fun. We're about to get off here. I'm going to go chill out and relax. I got to iron clothes is what I got to do. If you keep hearing the dryer, I have one of those that keeps cutting on and off so your clothes don't wrinkle. Well, I got to get my shirts out and get them pressed for tomorrow. Work with Ed Piotrowski. You know, I used to work with Ed Piotrowski. I did. Back in, you don't know how long I've known Ed Piotrowski. For those of you unaware of who Ed is the chief meteorologist back in Myrtle Beach. And I met Ed back in 1992, so you might call him a mentor of mine. It was in 92 when I met Ed, not long after he moved there. And I would go to the Weather Center, and I'd visit with him as a child every time. That when I got my license, I was down there hanging out. I didn't know what in the world he was talking about with some of the stuff. I said, what in the world is a vorticity? I didn't understand. But I sure listened, and I thought it was cool that I was right there with Ed. And so wound up working at the station a couple of years later, and I consider Ed a good friend and a good mentor. And if you are anywhere in the weather world and anyone finds out that you know anything about Myrtle Beach, that name pops up. Everyone knows Ed Piotrowski. And they trust and respect him. That's key for being in the business for so long, because I think that Ed's gotten the reputation, a good reputation, for fairly being accurate and being honest. You know, it takes a lot. And I've heard him say it, you know, we just simply don't know what's going to happen, especially when you get hurricanes and the paths are taking things different directions. And he's like, we got to prepare for the worst. And we simply don't know because we've got different variations that could happen here. And I respect him for being honest with folks. That's what I try to be. Gina said, we don't watch North Carolina weather, and she's in North Carolina. She watches Ed, and he's a prepare you, not a scare you guy. So that's how I try to be too for my folks here in Knoxville that try to tune in. I'm not gonna scare you, you know. We're not gonna run for the hills. We're already in the hills. I guess you could say I lived close to Vanna White. She was more North Myrtle Beach. But by the time I was coming along now, she was already in Hollywood. So I didn't cross paths with her but 2 or 3 times in my Myrtle Beach journeys. But I know she was born in Conway Hospital. Whoever mentioned Conway earlier. She was born in Conway Hospital. They didn't have a hospital in North Myrtle Beach until the most recent years. So Vanna grew up in North Myrtle way before my time. Not trying to put no age on nobody. But she was also kind of like the poster child, like, you know, the hometown girl that did well, so to speak. So that was Vanna. Living her dreams. I guess I live mine every day. And then now I get to hang out with you folks. So that's also a wonderful thing too. Every day that we're able to get up and be blessed and say hey to each other and put that smile on our face and walk on out the door and tackle the world and come back home with that smile. That's a beautiful day. That's a blessed day. Hopefully we get more of those than the opposite, right? I'm your storm person, Allison. I appreciate that. You messaged me the other day when we had all those storms. Now, I'll tell you, you TikTok folks, if you message me, the messages get lost. I can't keep up with those. I don't know why. The messages just don't show up. It says I have messages, but I can't find them. I see how my eyebrows are doing there. It's like they cut off right here. Is it like that on both of these? I don't know. That looks kind of weird, don't it? I appreciate it, Patricia. We've almost killed our hour just sitting here talking. She got me on talking about the coast, and that's where Mom and Dad are, and the family. And then I wanted to go. I think that love those hearts. Keep those double taps coming on that screen. Hit share if you haven't already. Well, there's someone else in North Carolina that streams WVLT, so you're going to have to catch up with the Tennessee weather now. And we're on at 9. I don't think Ed's on at 9 o'clock in the morning. You can watch me tomorrow. Your eyebrows are cousins instead of sister. Well, this week we've got a calm week, and I'm going to try to live it that way. You know, sometimes they send you notices on Facebook and Twitter and stuff, and it says your engagement is down. Well, this week there's not a lot to tune in for, and we got a calm week, so let's enjoy it while we can. We have enough days, don't we? I've been doing some studying and research and trying to determine how I think the winter is going to go, and I think we could have a 50-50 winter. I'm not going to give any full predictions on how much snow or how many snowstorms or whatever. You can look at the old wives' tales and see how many fog mornings we had and see if that's accurate. But it looks like we're going to kind of flirt with that La Nina pattern to a neutral pattern. So that's how we're going to be. So the first half of winter may be different from the second half in various ways in terms of moisture and cold and all that stuff. So You know, if you want snow, you got to have the moisture. But I like just going up to Ober Mountain. You know why? Because they make it up there, and when you're ready to go home, you can come home and not worry about the snow or worry about the power going out. That's the worst. I don't mind the snow as much as the power going out. But sometimes when we lose the power, you're like, man, am I going to get cold in here? Am I going to freeze? So I have a space heater, a gas space heater that I can use this year. Otherwise, we'll go sit in the car, I guess. That's that. Well, speaking of, while I got a few seconds of daylight left, I'm going to walk outside. How about that? So, everybody, I hope you have a great night. I hope you keep smiling. And I'm going to be back here Thursday at least at 7. Maybe tomorrow we'll do coffee with Kyle in the studio. I can't talk, so I don't know if that's entertaining or not. Maybe I'm too talkative and that just bothers you anyway. So, all right. Belly's full. I'm going to go walk around outside and look at everything. And then we're going to settle in for 2 hours of Andy. Do y'all watch, your new followers, do y'all watch Me TV? I love Andy. I love the old shows. So that's what we're going to do until somebody opens that door and says we're watching Vikings. Good night, guys. I'm going to see y'all soon.